What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with that quick analysis with me listening to analysis at the same time as making this video, letting y'all know I'm trying to give y'all the crispest, cleanest, purest analysis that you can get, and hopefully y'all straight this weekend. On top of that, we're gonna talk about the Clippers and the Jazz again, and this is a series where you are frustrated because y'all was almost there. This is another game that the Clippers shoulda, coulda won, but instead they get the loss, and they are 2 games away from being eliminated from the playoffs. And it's tough. You playing against the best teams in the NBA, the best coaches, the best players, and you just trying to find as much energy and effort that you can put into a game and give your best chance to win. They made a lot of mistakes, missed a lot of shots. Nobody stood up and took command of the team and guided them or even took away the victory, like I continue to say. And if you're a Clipper fan, you let another one get away. This is a series where you literally could be up 2-0, but instead the Jazz played together, they stayed together, and guys stepped up when the Clippers wilted. They couldn't get it done. And this is a reason why I didn't look at the Clippers as a legitimate championship team. Just because these are the games that you have to win. These are the games that you have to put away. You could be up 2-0 right now, going home with a chance to sweep. But instead, they're in a situation where they're in a must-win game 3 at home, unless they will be on the verge of getting swept in the series. Utah, I love what they have done. They have a lot of stretches where they miss, but they defense continue to keep them in the games. They make things tough, and they communicate and they play well together, and they know what they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to be, and even when they do make mistakes, they still put a little bit extra effort to at least contest or make a shot a little tougher. And the Clippers, they perimeter players just gotta find a way to just be more disciplined, be more smarter. And even when you watch Kawhi Leonard, nobody can really guard nobody on the Jazz. These guys are hitting threes. These guys are doing whatever they want to do on the court, and they're just running them over. But one thing I say about the Clippers, as hard as Utah is to defend, as hard as they are to score on defensively each and every possession, they still is almost there. It's not like the Clippers are getting blew out. It's not like the Clippers are not even coming close in these games. They right there. The last 2 games where they had opportunities where they could have had a cushion or they could have put them away, but they just couldn't get it done. And that's where you look at their stars. Where is Paul George? Where is Kawhi Leonard in these pivotal moments that can help you get to the Western Conference Finals, have a chance to get to the finals, and they continue to not show up in big games of the series. And it's just the reality of this team. And this may just be who they are as players and as duo, as this how they have did the last 2 seasons together. And I like the fact that Reggie Jackson gave you 29. I always had love and respect for Reggie Jackson, whether he was in Oklahoma, whether he was even in Detroit. And even when he got kicked out of Detroit, he still plays hard. He still goes out there and compete. And they got this man shooting from 30 to 35 feet. And he's given all that he got. I mean, you don't expect Reggie Jackson, through all the injuries and all the things he's been through, to still be able to give you 29 points in a pivotal playoff game, but he did it. But if you're expecting that out of Reggie Jackson, we should be expecting more out of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on both ends of the court. They have these reputations because of what they have done in the regular season and in the postseason. And at their age, we would love to see them continue to live up to that, expectation that they set for themselves. But, honestly, they haven't done it as a duo in the last 2 years, and we know they're capable of it. We know that they can do it because they have done it. But when they're on the court, they just haven't done it enough when it matters the most, and that's in the playoffs. And when I look at this team as a duo, one of these guys are really going to have to play at a superstar level, and both of these guys are going to have to play at a MVP, All NBA first team level if they want to win a championship together, because they have changed so much around this team, and they still haven't been able to get over the hump. And now we will see if they can beat the Jazz. But I love what I seen out of Jordan Clarkson. He came in and did exactly what they needed him to do, and then more with 24 points off the bench. Rudy Gobert was able to control the paint, forced them to take more perimeter shots, allowed them to be confident to take perimeter shots, and the Clippers just couldn't make enough of them. And the Jazz was able to make them when they mattered, but they also was able to make more. And that was really the difference. You know, Zubac didn't really have a great game on both ends of the court, honestly. And Gobert just stayed in his lane and did what he does, and he gobbled every rebound that he can get because a lot of these shots was tough, or a lot of these shots was long, and he was able to get in position and gobble one up, and that really helped his team out. And this is what he does, and that's why he's on my All NBA team this year. But also look at Donovan Mitchell. They have no answer for the guy. This man is literally a walking, talking bucket. Whatever he wants to do, whatever he feels like doing, he's just doing it to the Clipper, just like Luka was doing. And they have to find a way to slow down Donovan Mitchell. And they did to a certain extent. But then the others showed up and started knocking down shots and making plays for themselves and playing within the flow of the system. And it was just a little bit too much for the Clippers. And the Clippers, if they're not going to be on a string and communicating and switching and guarding individually at a high enough level, then honestly the Jazz have shown and have proven through this series so far and through the playoffs that they are the better team. And that's why I did pick them to win. They have the shooting, they have the creation, they have the guys that can take over a game, make big shots, make big plays, and they have defense, and they have the ability to trust and believe everybody on the court are accountable, and they all hold each other to the same standard, and that's why they continue to win games when Donovan Mitchell is healthy. And even without Mike Conley in or out too, they still been able to have a one-loss record so far in the playoffs. Another game that I want to talk about was Philly Hawks. I was disappointed in the Hawks. The Hawks, they didn't play like themselves. They really was lost out there. I don't really know what happened. They really was out of their groove. They felt like a team that was just gonna let it go and they was gonna come at you. And Trae Young, he was able to get it going, but he missed a lot of Trae Young type shots. He missed some of them floaters. He missed some of them threes. But his teammates didn't pick him up. His teammates didn't, defend. And if they're not going to be a great defensive team, they're going to continue to have problems because they couldn't stop the Sixers. The Sixers have found multiple people and how to utilize them. And that's one thing I always gave Doc Rivers credit on. He knows how to put his players in situations to succeed. And you seeing Tobias and these guys take shots they know they can make and they want to make. They're getting to their shots. They're getting to their spots. And if they don't have it, they're moving the ball and finding the open guy or relying on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid to create majority of their plays. But those are their superstars. Those are their all-stars. And that's what they're supposed to do. And these guys are playing well off of them. But they also are taking shots that they know they're going to be able to make. And they're not taking too many bad ones or stupid ones. And if they can continue to balance that out and continue to play this way, this is why I picked Philly to win. They're way better and they have way more weapons on both ends of the court than the Hawks do. But the Hawks is a team that if they're playing the right way and they're playing together, they can be one of the toughest teams to defend if their threes and their jumpers are going in. But if they're not getting to the paint and they can't get those open threes, they really become a stagnated team where they rely on Trae Young to do a lot, where he could, and he has done it, but you ain't going to be able to do that to a great team when they have other great players that can do the same thing on the other end of the court offensively too. And this Philly team does have a lot of weapons, especially when they're in the right spots and doing what they're accustomed to doing and not doing too much more than that. And that's why you see guys like Seth continue to excel. You see guys like Tobias excel. You see guys even like Korkmaz making some easy threes, moving, cutting, and just playing within the flow of the system, like I said. And they're getting easy opportunities, and the Hawks are not. They're trying and they're working for each and every basket, and that's not a way you're going to win at the highest level against the best teams and the best players. And the Hawks have wilted right now too, where they really trying to find something. They really trying to find this and that, but they haven't been able to find out how to counter what the Sixers have done defensively, and they haven't even really, to me, they don't have the personnel to really defend them the right way either. But this is the team they built. This is the flaws they had for the last 2 years. They increased their offensive talent, like I said, this offseason, but defensively they didn't. And it's starting to show against the better competition. And they have to figure something out, because you don't want to go down 3-1 going back to Philly, knowing that this team is confident in beating you. They knowing that they have you solved and figured out for right now. So I think that they got to try something different to give them some type of advantage in game 4, so that way they don't go down 3-1, because what they're doing now isn't working the last 2 games. Yeah, they scoring 100 points, but they're giving up more points while also taking tougher and working harder for their buckets. And if they're going to do that, they're not going to be able to win this series. But that's also the reason why I picked Philly to win this series, because of these exact reasons. And we're starting to see that is actually true as we watching the series play out. They have no answer for Embiid. They have no answer communication-wise for these shooters. And some of these guys are knocking down shots even if they get ran off the three-point line. And we're not seeing the Hawks do that as a team. And that's something that they was able to do against the Knicks, and they haven't been able to do it so far against the Sixers. And that's why the Sixers have been able to take the commanding lead in the series. They started figuring it out a little bit in game 1. They implemented it for the start in game 2, and now they just trust in the process in this game. And if they continue to play like this and the Hawks don't make changes and adjustments to counter how they're getting to defend it, and figure out who can they rely on outside of Trae Young to really step up and help them consistently offensively, then it can be a problem. We know Capella is not a shooter. We know John Collins has been trying to find his mix with this new team, but these other guys are going to have to make plays or make shots. And if they don't, they might not win another game in the series. If somebody steps up and makes some shots, makes some plays with Trae Young, then they have a chance of extending the series. Now we just going to have to see who those next 2 guys are going to be outside of Trae Young. And that's what we're going to have to see if they want to beat Philly at the end of the day. But Philly, they grooving right now. They riding right now. And this is why I picked them to win. I'll see y'all tomorrow with playoff reactions of the games. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. Hopefully you guys enjoy y'all weekend and enjoying y'all day. And hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. We got some games and some series that could be over by Tuesday, and we'll see if it happens. The chase for the championship is coming closer to an end, and we'll see who's going to be able to, at the end of the day, hoist it. Some good teams left, if not the best of the best is left from each conference, and now we're just going to see who's going to come out each conference and see who can win that ship. So this is going to be fun. Other than that, do y'all thing.